to kind of, this is why I want to kind of challenge things a little bit within the community as well and get people to talk a bit more about it, because we have tendency to just shut down conversations rather than having open conversations about things. And that's what I was seeing with like with Matt as well in the post the other day, was like he just straight away, and I'm not blaming him. I was exactly where he used to, like where he is now. I used to be there as well, and just jump on people and shutting down conversations. But we just cannot be doing that. Like, it's like we just need to have a bit more of an open mind and try and like have respectful conversation and be curious rather than go, no, this is how things are, because facts are on. There's the dog. Facts are only facts until they're proven otherwise.
But it's like I don't know what to say to people like this. Like it should be self-evident that it doesn't take 10 or 20 years before any kind of science is changed by a new discovery.
Yeah.
Why are you ready to die on this hill of whatever that's been discovered right now? You should know that in 100 years or in 500 years, this is going to be considered barbaric. Try to look from a higher perspective, from a human perspective, like what makes sense in a forever perspective.
Yeah.
Like if you zoom out and look at the situation, is there a bigger picture here? Because otherwise you'll just be one of those idiots of your time who people will laugh at in a textbook in 100 years, sometimes even in a 50 years, right? But if you look back, but the thing is, if you look back at the philosophers, the good ones throughout time, no one's laughing at them. They were right 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
But they are still right today. They'll be right in 5,000 years because there is such a thing as universal common sense, a universal truth, and but that's one of the difficulties I have is the difficulty that I am always the heretic, because I look at things from an outside perspective, because I am not, I grew up in Denmark, but I'm not a Dane, right? And I may talk about certain politics, but I don't belong to an ideology. And I might talk about spirituality, but I'm not spiritual. And I might talk about religion, but I'm not religious.
Yeah.
Because I know all labels are things that my very little mind like to play with, but I know it's not the truth. Yeah. I know I'm beyond all that. So everyone who has clamped down on this particular label that they identify so strongly with, as soon as I'm there, that identification starts becoming undone, and they become really afraid, and then they start to attack me or they run away from me.
Yeah.
And and when you come right down to it, the human mind cannot understand the universe through thinking. So like this idea of like, there are a lot of people that are very willing to say like, oh, you're emotional, you're irrational, you should stop being that. But the problem, the other side of that is that emotion is a misapprehension of reality. That's true. But do you know that logic is also a misapprehension of reality? Emotion and logic are the two ways in which the mind tries to make sense of reality, and both are wrong.
Yeah.
The world is not emotional, and nor is it logical. It is something different than that.
Yeah.
And people who are logical are usually worse off than people who are emotional, because people who are emotional can at least glean a little bit of the mystical.
Yeah.
The truth can be somewhat seen through the heart. It can't be seen through the mind at all.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So like a person like that, like the doctor guy, I don't know what to say to him, because his whole starting point is wrong. He thinks he's going to find any answer in his mind. Mm-hmm. So the only thing I told him was like, all right, whatever, dude.